I found out my husband cheated on me with strippers and I feel dead inside. I 31F found out 2 weeks ago that my husband 30M slept with a stripper last year January 2020 at bachelor party. We have been together for 5 years and married for almost 2.5 years. I'm also 11 weeks pregnant, so not a good time to find out my husband is a liar and a cheater. We have both said we would never cheat and that cheating is a deal breaker, whether it be emotional or physical. Our hatred for cheaters was something we bonded over when we first met. My husband has never been cheated on as far as he knows, but his father is a serial cheater, so he sees the grief it causes his mom and he hates his dad for it. He has also lost a lot of respect for his mom for putting up with it. She refuses to leave him because they have been together since they were 15, and are in their mid-50s now. The only 2 relationships I have been in before him both ended with my boyfriends cheating on me. So after 5 years of being together, and seeing no red flags, I finally saw one 3 weeks ago. I met his new receptionist. Pretty, blonde, early 20s, wearing a top that showed a lot of cleavage despite what some like to say. It's inappropriate to wear revealing clothes at work, especially considering all 5 men that work there are either married or engaged. Her clothing wasn't a red flag, but it was her attitude towards me. She was cold and a little rude, and I caught her watching us several times while I was there. She seemed annoyed by my presence. It was the first time I visited him at work since she was hired in November. He owns a small business with his best friend. I told my husband that she was clearly crushing on him, and he laughed and said that he thought she was crushing on his business partner instead. His partner wasn't there, so I didn't see her with him, so the next day I decided to snoop through his phone while he was sleeping. We know each other's passcodes, and we do have an open phone policy. I rarely look through his phone, but the few times I have, I never found anything. I also have nothing to hide, so I have no problem with him looking through my phone either. I found her in his contacts, and only 2 text messages showed up in their history. Both from her. They were from December saying that she was going to be late for work. Nothing inappropriate. He doesn't use social media. No inappropriate photos. There wasn't even PRN in his Safari history. But his group chat with his friends and brother was a whole other story. I have known about their group chat, but all the times I used his phone in the past, I always avoided looking through it. Years ago my brother told me group chats with the boys are usually filled with PRN, bragging about all the women they are cheating on their partners with, and objectifying women, and I did not want to see that, so I just hoped my husband and his friends were different. Well, nope, they aren't. What I saw made me sick, and it actually made me throw up. I found out that my husband did cheat on me, not with his employee, but with strippers at a bachelor party last year. Based on the texts, he was drunk and had time with one of the strippers, and got a blowjob from the other. Not only did he cheat on me, but most of his friends who are either married, engaged or in serious relationships cheated as well that night and are basically serial cheaters, or desperate for time with other women. They have a serious problem with PRN and lusting after women that are not their partners. The groom also had time with 2 strippers that night. The bachelor party was at a strip club, and then they all went to the only single guy in the group's house with the 2 strippers. I didn't even know they went to a strip club. My husband has said that he doesn't like strip clubs, and he knows I am not comfortable with him going to them. The guy's fiancé, now wife, said no to strippers. They told all of us that they were just having a boys' night in. So they have been lying to all of us for the last year. Since we started dating, he has been to 2 other bachelor parties, so I have no idea if they went to strip clubs during those as well. When it comes to his receptionist, he does think she is ducking hot, but he is not sleeping with her, and never has. She is in fact sleeping with his married business partner whose wife is pregnant with their first child. But they joked about having a threesome in the chat, and his friend bragged about how hot the time is, but not wanting to share her. They all pretty much brag about all the time they are having with women that are not their wives and girlfriends. The chat is filled with PRN, pictures from OnlyFans, Instagram profiles of girls, comparing girls' looks, talking about all the things they want to do with these girls, time memes, etc. It's basically 90% time related. They talk like a bunch of 15-year-old single attorney teenage boys, not 28, 33-year-old men in supposedly committed relationships. One of the guys is getting married in May and they are planning on hiring more strippers and they talked about ducking them too. Like what the fuck? One of the guys posted a picture of my husband and I in the chat with the caption, "Show me a beautiful woman, I'll show you a man who's tired of ducking her." They all seem to find that funny. My husband's response was, "Haha, I'm not bored yet. Who did I marry? Who are these people? Why are most men such trash?" His friends and brother have always been nice and polite to me. They seemed happy and in love with their wives and girlfriends, but obviously it is all an act. I took lots of screenshots, so I do plan on telling their partners, but I am really dreading it. So a little backstory. Before meeting my husband, I was single for almost 6 years. Like completely single. I didn't date at all. I was celibate, except for one weekend fling and one ONS. I really loved being single and not having to worry about being cheated on. At times I was lonely and missed time, but for the most part I was really happy. I hate hookup culture, so casual time is not for me. I have always been an introvert and a homebody, so I was perfectly fine with being at home and not going out. Because of my previous boyfriends cheating on me, I didn't want to go through that again. I was convinced that most men cheat if given the opportunity. Every guy I knew was cheating or wanting to cheat, but afraid of getting caught. Which is not a good enough reason for me to not cheat. My dad's wife cheated on him after being together for 7 years, so he in return cheated on her. They're still together, but are miserable. My brother and his friends were cheating on their girlfriends. Some of them would try to cheat on their girlfriends with me. Lots of married men made it known to me that they wanted to sleep with me. So it all just made me depressed and seriously think very lowly of men. When I was a teenager, I loved the attention I got from men, even married men. I didn't really encourage it, but I still liked it. Then my ex cheated on me and I started to really hate the attention I got from men that were married or in relationships, so instead of it making me feel confident and beautiful, it just made me feel like acid. I am a firm believer in leaving a cheater, so that's what I plan on doing, but I am so depressed and angry and shocked. I don't believe there are any valid reasons to cheat, but if we weren't getting along or not having time, then it would make a little more sense. But we do get along, we are best friends, or so I thought. We have a great time life, and have time pretty much every day. So it just doesn't make sense. I still love him, but from the moment I saw those texts, it was like a lot of the love I had for him went away. I really thought we were happy, and since finding out I'm pregnant, he has been so excited. Lockdown and quarantine had been great for us. So I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around his cheating, and the way he talked in that group chat is going to give me nightmares. I have not confronted him yet. A couple days after I found the texts, I went to stay at my mom's. It was a planned trip. Those 2 days being around him after I found out were really hard. Just looking at him made me sick and angry. He wanted to have time, but I had to tell him I wasn't in the mood, which is weird for me because I am always in the mood. Going years without having time has made me constantly crave it, which he knows and loves. I blamed my morning sickness and am still using it as an excuse. I was only supposed to stay with my mom for 3 days, but it's been 2 weeks and I am still here. My husband is not happy that I am still here, so he is coming tomorrow. I told him not to, and that I will be back home next week, but he is not listening and will be here in 6 hours. I am dreading it. My mom lives 2 hours away from us. We have talked every day since I left, but I keep the conversations short. He asks me what is wrong and I just tell him that I am nauseous. I haven't told my mom what I found out. Only person I have told is my best friend, who lives in Florida. I'm in Canada. She is the one that told me about this sub. A small part of me doesn't even want to confront him, and just wants to act like it never happened. But I feel weak for feeling like that. I'm embarrassed of my family finding out too, like just last year my brother was telling me all guys cheat and the ones that don't only don't because of lack of opportunity or fear of getting caught. I mostly do agree with that, but I also think there are some good, faithful, loyal men that don't cheat because they don't want to. They love their wives' girlfriends and don't want other women. I said my husband was that kind of guy. What an idiot I was. I know it's immature, but I wish I could just ghost him, like go and move all my stuff out of our condo and then never talk to him again. Obviously I can't do that, but a huge part of me wishes I could. I just can't stop thinking about him having time with someone else. It's consuming my thoughts. I've only left my mom's condo once since I've been here. I have no motivation to do anything. I've just been sleeping a lot and reading. I can't even be happy about being pregnant. My mom is very excited, and I have to pretend that I am. I do really want to be a mom, but knowing what I know, I can't stop thinking about the future and dreading it. My husband will be a great dad, but I really wanted my child to grow up in a loving home with both parents. But I can't stay with him. I have always been against staying with a cheater because of kids. I hate thinking about having to watch him move on and date and eventually get married to someone else. I just know I will be single forever, and that makes me sad. Sorry this was so long. I just needed to rant. Update. I found out my husband cheated on me with strippers and I feel dead inside. Hi everyone, I wanted to post a quick update. I also want to thank everyone for their kind words and advice on my original post. I'm still in the process of reading all the comments and messages I have received. This is the first time I have been on here in 2 days. I've had hardly any energy to do anything, even scroll through my phone. A lot of the comments were telling me that I should get tested for STDs, so I thought I'd just say that I did get tested during my first prenatal visit, and it came back negative. So not long after I posted on here, I told my mom everything. She was very supportive. She wanted me to stay with her and not go back with him. She was very upset, so there was no way I was letting her near him. Lol. He picked me up from her place Saturday morning. I ended up leaving my car with my mom. It was awkward. I wasn't exactly friendly or talkative, which is not normal for me when we are together. We didn't talk much during the 2-hour drive home. When we got home, he immediately tried to have time. I said I wasn't in the mood. Throughout the day and night he was very affectionate with me, constantly wanting to kiss and cuddle, which is not out of the ordinary. I went to bed early, and I ended up waking up in the middle of the night with his head between my legs. I am not proud to admit I didn't stop him. We ended up having time. The next morning while he was in the shower, I looked through his phone and opened up the group chat. More gross talk about other girls. I saw that he complained to them that it had been 2 weeks since he had time, which is the longest he has gone without time in 5 years. The good friends there suggested he go to a bar or download Tinder. Like, waiting a few days for your wife to get home isn't an option? This morning I woke up before he did. I opened his group chat and took videos of it from my phone. So I would at least have videos and screenshots as proof to send to the other women, not just the screenshots I took before. I woke up feeling re-energized for the first time in almost 3 weeks. I made an appointment with a divorce lawyer. This afternoon, I created a group chat with the other women. I only had a few of their numbers, so I had to get the rest. I sent them the photos and videos of the chat. One of the women admitted to seeing some inappropriate messages in the chat last year and finding out about her husband's infidelity. She chose to stay with him, and well, surprise, surprise, her husband never actually changed. She said she does check his phone regularly, but that he must delete all his texts because she hasn't seen anything in the group chat since she found out. So if I was having any doubts about cheaters never changing, they are gone now. Cheaters never change. They may put the cheating on hold. Maybe they go weeks, months, or even years without cheating again, but very rarely do they just never cheat again. Why would they? When their partner shows that their love for them is so strong, that they will forgive them for their betrayal. Cheating men want their wife to go home to, and their side girls that they can have hot-ass time with no responsibilities. It's a win-win for them. Some of the women never replied back, the others said they were going to confront them. One did say it was boys being boys and locker room talk. Maybe about an hour after I started talking to some of the women, my husband started calling me. I didn't answer. He then came home livid. His best friend and business partner's pregnant wife was one of the women that never replied, so I wasn't sure if she saw the photos and videos. She must have, because she called her husband crying, and he told my husband, so he rushed home. He was very distraught, remorseful, but also angry that I went and told his friend's partners behind his back. He said I should have talked to him first so he could give them a heads up and try to talk me out of it, I'm sure. He did admit to cheating on me at the bachelor party. He blamed it on being drunk and feeling pressured by his friends. He said he was incredibly turned on by the lap dances, and coupled that with being drunk and a churny, he was too weak to say no. He wore a condom. He said it was the only time he has ever cheated on me, that he will never cheat on me again. He loves me more than anything, not as much as meaningless time with strippers apparently, loves our baby, wants to make this work, wants to go to counseling. He still feels like acid about it. He wanted to tell me so many times but didn't want to hurt me. He said he is not like his father, he is not a serial cheater. He is so ashamed of himself. The way they talk about girls is just locker room talk. He is willing to cut out all his friends besides his best friend, of course, out of his life. He admitted that they are toxic, and he doesn't want to be like them. I told him that he already is like them. He finally left hours later and is staying at his brother's house. The same brother that was also in the group chat, but from what I could see he hasn't cheated on his wife because he is too afraid of getting caught. He really wants to cheat on her though. She is one of the women that never replied. I just hate that this is my life. My confidence is gone. Ever since I turned 28, I started feeling insecure about getting older, but I was still confident. I'm 31, turning 32 in 6 months. I know I'm not old and I do still look like I'm in my mid-20s, but I just feel so hopeless and insecure now. I never want to go through this again, and my trust in men is completely dead. It already wasn't great before meeting my husband, but now it's non-existent. Update: I am obsessed with reading about cheating. It has gotten out of control. Every time I come across an article about cheating, I have to click on it. I've been spending a lot of time with my brother and I can't help but ask him to tell me more stories about his cheating co-workers and friends. I've also been spending a lot of time on Reddit, and it's like I'm only looking for posts that have to do with cheating. I spend an embarrassingly amount of time reading posts on certain subs, even though it makes me so angry, sick and depressed. But I feel like it's something I need to do, especially when I start feeling bad for not giving my husband another chance. I really do think betrayed spouses who are choosing to reconcile should read posts from cheaters, because it is definitely a wake-up call to how cheaters really feel and act, and we really should not trust them when they say they will change. But yeah, I even started to dream about it. Sometimes I dream about watching my husband cheat on me. Other times I dream about just watching people cheat. I wish I could go one ducking hour without thinking about infidelity. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, got to be careful. You can start imprinting what the cheaters are doing on an innocent partner, or be so paranoid you sabotage your relationships. These Reddit posts are supposed to help people, not destroy their or the reader's sanity. Redditor follow-up, yeah, I am scared I'll sabotage my future relationships with paranoia. Honestly, I'm a very gullible person who trusts others a lot and almost never doubt. That's why I started reading this sub to somehow understand basic cheater actions and know when to get suspicious when I have a relationship. I was never cheated on, not to my knowledge. Also, I only had one relationship so far. And being too paranoid is something I fear for the future too. Redditor 2. I was on a similar kick a couple of months after D-Day. I had to stop because I had a mental breakdown. What has really caught my eye is how often infidelity appears to be everywhere in pop culture. I used to think nothing of it, now when I see it I feel sick. Op answer, same. I was only indifferent to cheating when I was a teenager, but in my early to mid-20s I would get mad when I heard anything related to cheating, but it never lasted long and I didn't obsess over it. But now I'm so obsessed it is unhealthy. It's seriously ducking with my mind. Infidelity is everywhere, I can't escape it, but I'm also actively seeking it out. Redditor 3, you're not alone. Something very much like that has happened to me several months ago. I've been reading post after most. I believe I do it to immunize myself. Like taking a cold, bold look at cheating and infidelity has helped me become very confrontational about worst-case scenarios. Before it was something I was afraid to look at. Now it's become so much easier to deal with. Like some people have triggers imagining they're so in the arm of another, men, women, or having breakdowns. Going to therapy and counseling. I feel as though reading these posts has helped me face cheating and infidelity so much easier. I really needed that. Hope this helps.